Deadpool's rise in popularity, catalyzed by Ryan Reynolds' crass portrayal of the crimson-clad anti-hero, should be laying the groundwork for a new Deadpool game. But at present, all is quiet. There isn't even a firm rumor doing the rounds as to Deadpool's video game future. Marvel Entertainment are set to continue capitalizing on the meteoric popularity of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, though, with a slew of Marvel video game tie-ins coming in 2022 and beyond, from the much-anticipated sequel to Insomniac Games' Spider-Man, to a rebooted Wolverine game, and even a rumored Fantastic Four game from developer Skydance New Media. Clearly, financial investment is matching the immense appetite for Marvel video games. But, despite Deadpool's rise in popularity in tandem with the rest of the MCU, there appears to be no official game on the horizon. Since his introduction in 1991, Deadpool has made appearances in close to 20 video games. His inclusion is oftentimes relegated to a mere cameo, though, for the comic relief he brings in offbeat humor and fourth-wall-breaking hijinks are traits largely missing from the raft of Marvel Universe characters. Indeed, not since 2013 has Deadpool appeared in his own mainline game. That game in question was met with mixed reviews. Gamers and critics alike penalized it for repetitive gameplay, but on the flip side, it's fair to say the developer absolutely nailed the style, tone, and gross personality of the Merc with the mouth. Casting the extremely talented voice actor Nolan North was a masterstroke too, for his portrayal brought emotional heft to the character by counteracting the outward schlocky persona with the private inner turmoil Wade Wilson experiences behind the mask. Now, just to point out in case that you hadn't noticed, 2013's Deadpool game came out 3 years before the blockbuster movie, and thus the game itself relied on the original Deadpool comics as primary source material. Being an admittedly niche character in the Marvel Universe at the time means Deadpool's video game was always facing an uphill struggle for widespread appeal. Ryan Reynolds has changed all of that, of course, and with the potential comedic value of Deadpool's fourth wall breaking inside other upcoming MCU video games a distinct possibility, surely now the time is right to give 2013's Deadpool game a sequel. There is, after all, a third Deadpool movie in the works too. Nolan North himself has voiced his approval, and has even gone so far as to put pressure on Activision to make it happen. 2013's Deadpool game is littered with licensing issues, of course, with the game being repeatedly removed and relisted on digital storefronts since its initial release. I'm by no means an expert in the field of intellectual property, but surely organizations with pockets as deep as Microsoft and Marvel Entertainment can easily iron out any licensing roadblocks. That is, should Activision and Marvel renew their partnership, which expired in 2014, or another publisher step in to finance the project. Whoever takes on the project, it'd be great to hear Nolan North reprise the role, or even for Ryan Reynolds to be cast in the next game, for he's made clear time and again how much he loves playing the character. Legendary game developer Goichi Suda, aka Suda51, famous for brilliantly tacky titles No More Heroes, Lollipop Chainsaw, and Killer is Dead, has revealed he recently held meetings with Marvel Entertainment to discuss developing one of their IPs into a fully fledged game. Whether that'd be a Deadpool game is purely speculation at this point, despite stories of an Activision approach to Suda51 over a decade ago, and the fact that Suda51 himself exclaimed an affinity for the character in 2021, plus explicitly stating in an interview that they'd love to work with Marvel on a Shatterstar or Deadpool game. I do think that his development studio Grasshopper Manufacture would be a perfect fit, for they have pedigree in creating characters skillful in swordplay. Translating their aptitude for hack-and-slash combat to Deadpool would surely be a breeze. So, whilst there's a raft of conjecture throughout this feature, the foundations are there for a modern mainline Deadpool game. But what else could we see in a Deadpool game, should one ever be released? Well, moving beyond the hack-and-slash combat and gunplay, of which, let's be honest, there's tons of games of this ilk, I'd like to see Deadpool's specific superpowers come to the fore. Not least, his outrageous accelerated healing powers could become a primary gameplay mechanic. Perhaps severed limbs could become traps for distant opponents, or used to solve environmental puzzles. Maybe the collar which Deadpool was fitted with in the second movie, the one which inhibited his rapid regeneration ability, could be deployed to good use on a level or two. That'd mix up gameplay strategy by opening up the necessity for a stealthier approach. Maybe Deadpool's aversion to gamma radiation, as established in the very first Deadpool comic, could be exploited via enemy weaponry. Wade Wilson's tendency to be easily distracted could be a uniquely cool mechanic too. Players could be required to manage his mental state, with emphasis on sound state of mind leading to successful combat encounters. I'm just thinking out loud here, of course. But the point is that Deadpool is a supremely powerful yet decidedly complex character in the Marvel Universe, and as such, there's broad scope for a range of approaches that can be taken to portray his unique characteristics in any future Deadpool title. Combined with the star power of Ryan Reynolds, the seasoned flair of Nolan North, or, if we can dream a little, a combination of both, surely a new Deadpool game would be a commercial slam dunk. So, back to the original question. Why haven't we received a great Deadpool game, despite its popularity? Of course, I don't have a firm answer, but I'd like to think that Marvel Entertainment are simply taking their time to find the right development team to take the project forward. One that can marry Deadpool's uncouth humor with fun, action-packed gameplay. Whether that's Grasshopper Manufacture or someone else entirely, we'll have to wait and see. Of course, there's potential for Activision to renew their license as publisher for the bulk of Marvel's video game franchises, but with their impending Microsoft takeover, I'd say this isn't a sure bet. After all, 2020's Marvel's Avengers was published by Square Enix's European subsidiary. However, Square Enix, who have a multi-year deal with Disney to publish their upcoming Marvel titles, have just offloaded their North American development studios to gaming group Embracer, so the developers of Marvel's Avengers are no longer under their control. It's strange that there isn't even a whiff of a game forthcoming, but I'd be extremely surprised if the bigwigs at Marvel Entertainment haven't got at least some semblance of a plan in place for Deadpool's next foray into video games. Despite him announcing a plan to take time away from acting, Ryan Reynolds has no less than 5 movies in the pipeline, including Deadpool 3. I love Nolan North, but my gut feeling is any future Deadpool game would likely prove more successful with Ryan voice acting the character. After all, both Deadpool movies have grossed over $1.5 billion, which I'd attribute in large part to Ryan's pull. Deadpool to me seems like the character he was born to play. And that brings us to the end of the video. A quick request before we conclude though. We upload new videos every single day, and if you like what we're doing, please consider subscribing. It really helps us out. Also, don't forget to enable all notifications by clicking the bell icon so that you can receive daily video updates. Thanks for watching.